Hi YouTubers, this is my first video and I'm going to present how we can connect Marklogic with Python. I've written a blog on Medium, and after reading most of the readers asked me for the video for the work which I did, so that is the main inspiration and motivation behind making this video. So this is my blog. I'll be posting the link below in the description. Do check that blog in your leisure time. So let's get started. So for connecting Marklogic with Python, you basically need, obviously, you need Marklogic, and you need Anaconda. Some kind of Python distribution will actually do, but I'm here using Anaconda and basically using Jupyter Notebook. And you need to have request libraries installed in Marklogic. So those are the basic three things which you need to make connection, read, insert document, and delete a document, or perform all kind of CRUD operation on Marklogic document. So I've opened my Jupyter notebook, and this is a very good IDE for connecting and writing all sort of Python codes. I found it very easy to use and it is very handy. Also, let me show you the Marklogic server admin console. It's on present on port 8001, and we have Marklogic demo content database created specifically for this project. I have created using Gradle. I'll post another video on how to make Marklogic projects using Gradle. But for this tutorial, I'll just show you how we insert documents with the help of Python and do also all sort of code operations on that one. So this I've created one kind of REST API on port 8001. Through this port, we are going to interact with Marklogic server, and I've also created some users, and basically I'm going to use Marklogic demo writer user. It has all sort of permissions to read and write on Marklogic database. So let's get started. I'll also show you the query console, and if you see we have Marklogic demo content database selected from the drop down, and obviously we don't have any type of documents currently present in Marklogic. So our first step to insert documents into Marklogic server. So as you know, as I've discussed previously, we need to have request libraries already installed uh, for us, so that um, we can make communication with the Marklogic server. So I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to import request. Then I'm going from request, I'm going to import auth. Auth is basic for we are going to do digest authentication on Marklogic server. And obviously I need to pass user ID and password. For this, I'm going to use HTTP digest auth function. And as we discussed, we are going to use Marklogic. Sorry, Marklogic demo writer user. Obviously, there's double quotes present there. And digest is spelling I need to check. Yeah, so that will be fine. And then I need to provide headers. So I'll be taking headers in the variable known as request headers. And it will be basically a type of JSON document which I'm going to insert, but you can insert XML too by changing that content type, application, JSON. Okay, let's try this one. Okay. After this, we will be obviously needing some kind of JSON string to insert into Marklogic. So I'm going to create one JSON document here. Basically like employee having name. So I'm going to give my name here. And I'm going to give my skill here. I can say Marklogic, and obviously it should be separated by comma. Now, after we have digest user ID password to pass into using authenticate using digest method, we have content type so that Marklogic identifies what type of content we are dealing with. We have data, that is JSON string. Now let's go and make put request. So this put request actually puts the document into Marklogic, or it is mainly used for inserting or updating documents in the Marklogic server. So let's do that. So I will be declaring a variable rep and using request dot put, and here I will be using TPP localhost 8011, as like we discussed last time. I have port enabled there. Then v1 rest endpoints, then the URI. So this URI, or uniform resource identifier, or universal resource identifier, I'm sorry to say that, universal resource identifier, this URI is actually is unique and identifies document inserted in Marklogic server. So we are going to provide a unique name to a document, which will be Python test.json. We'll be passing authentication or user ID password, and then headers. Headers will be under request headers, and then I'll be passing the data. So JSON underscore string. Now in the next step, we are going to print the response. Obviously, like we need to a kind of a response so that we can identify whether our documents are getting inserted into Marklogic server or not. So I'm going to print that response. Okay, now let's run it. Okay, oh, I missed an S over here. I'll just run it again. Now what? So it's a type of, okay. So I have made a mistake here. So if you see, we get a response of 201. This 201, like actually, like it's a response from the Marklogic server that, yeah, the document, everything went correct, and we have a Marklogic server or document inserted into Marklogic server. We can obviously go on the query console and do a kind of explore on the database. So like that database has now a document what we have ingested um, in our Python scripts. And if you open this document, you'll see we have a well-formed JSON document present here. So coming back, now we want to, like, obviously, like if we have inserted a document in Marklogic, we definitely want to read it from Marklogic using Python. So that is what I'm going to like show you in the next step, how exactly like we are going to read the document. So for that, what I will do is that I'll write a like have a variable rep read, and in this I'll use get method of the request to read the document from Marklogic server. Okay, request dot get, and we have HTTP localhost 8011, then latest. Obviously, like you see the difference here. Initially, like for putting or updating the document, we use v1 documents here, but for reading, we are getting like we are using latest documents. Now we are using like we will be passing the URI. URI will be Python underscore test.json. Okay, obviously auth, and then headers, which will be request headers, and we are going to print it. Yep. Read.json. So you can see that we got the same document we had, which we inserted in Marklogic server. It's almost same. So doing away with done with insert, done with reading document. Now comes the update and delete part. So for updating a document, like it is similar to what we have seen in the putting document. If we insert a document with the same URI, Marklogic treat it as the same updation of the document and updates the document which is already present there. So if there's a change in content, Marklogic does this like it replaces the content with a new content, and if there is no, then it will remain same. So what I'll do is that I'll copy this JSON, put it here, and I'll add, say, age. So I have added my age here, and then I'll be calling the same method, or we'll be using same request put method to update the document, because we are supplying the same URI which actually updates the document already present in the Marklogic server. What I'm going to do that is I'm going to run it, and we get this time we get 204. So 204 response indicates that the document which is already present in Marklogic got updated. So if we again read the document, we'll see that we got our age here. So document is updated. Initially we were not getting any age here, because what we have provided, the JSON string was like this, and now we have updated document with the age. You can check that like if you write this, if you use this fn doc function, in Marklogic and read on this demo. It will list all the documents present in Marklogic. It's not the best way if you have a lot of the documents present, but for the few of the documents or one or two documents, you can obviously query the Marklogic database and get this. So age is present here. Now comes the next part where we are going to delete the document, and we are going to use um, delete function so that we can delete the document by passing that URI into that one. So let's start. I'll use rep delete variable here and request delete and http local host 8011 localhost 8011. Then we need to have v1 and documents, then URI is equal to our URI of the document which we want to delete, like python test.json auth me, and headers is equal to request headers. Obviously, we are going to print the response. And if you're going to run this, we get 204. So it means that something has happened to the already existing document present in the Marklogic. And if you again run this to read Marklogic, so document not found, because obviously we don't have any document present in Marklogic. And if you go here, if you do run, you won't be finding any documents, or even if you do explore, you won't be having documents present here. So this was a nice and simple way how we can utilize Python request libraries to connect to Marklogic and perform a basic CRUD operation. So obviously, it is a very powerful language where we can do a lot of stuffs. Suppose if we have a multiple documents present in Python, we can obviously create data frames using pandas, do certain kind of analysis, plot graphs using plotly, and we can obviously create a nice dashboard using plotly dash, or do kind of network analysis using plotly dash cytospace. So there are chances of doing a lot of stuff, a lot of data science stuff, a lot of analysis stuff when you have a powerful language connected to a most powerful database, Marklogic server. So that's all from my side, and obviously I will be going to post a new video on how to make a project from Gradle using in Marklogic.